So that brings me to an interesting case. Again, Minfi being a strong player in the public sector industry. So I heard about this story about the Assam government verification, the public system, and where you guys had to do some very interesting work. So can you just highlight the problem statement what we had in Assam, state of Assam, and what did we do about it? What was the challenge and what did we do about it?
So the challenge was scale.
What is the problem? If you could just articulate it for.
The problem was that there was some kind of verification, citizenship verification going on.
The CAA or the UCA.
NRC,
okay.
Something like that, right? So everyone was supposed to, the state, all the population of the state was supposed to log into this portal, and check out whether their citizenship status is, or whether they need to, furnish some documents and all, right? So now that is about scale. Now see, this is a very typical case. It's a spiky case. The entire state would come on a portal for 1 hour and go away. That is the difference. So everyone, the moment you say 12 o'clock, you can go and check. Everyone will get online. Everyone has a handheld, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they just get online and try to check, and the portal will collapse. Typically, what happens when you declare exam results, right? Everyone tries to get into the portal at the same time, right?
It's a spike, huge spike.
Huge spike.
And what is this? What is the estimate here in Assam?
So this was about 3.5 crore citizens to go and do the verification within a stipulated time, right? So it can't happen in an on-prem model, and this application being earlier was a monolith, as in it was not something where we can use API Gateway Lambda and scale it. What we did is we did a little bit of a refactoring, not a complete application refactoring. We did a little bit of refactoring and made it serverless. And so as it's serverless, you don't have to worry about your.
That's where you do.
Yeah. So the
introduce.
Case, when you ask me, right? So where this is is actually a demanding use case for serverless, right? Because even if there is a 30 lakh concurrent users logging in, it performs the same way, right? And your compute cost or your cost of your IT operations, right? It's going to be directly proportionate to the number of logins.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then the government could complete the verification drive successfully within the stipulated time. If not serverless, you can't even assume how many servers they would have went and stacked in their data center to get this. And it's practically impossible, right? And what do they do with it, like after the work is done, right? So
yeah. So another topic when it comes to public sector is there's a big trend towards open source, right? Not get stuck with proprietary technology, but move towards NoSQLs and more open source technology. And also you have the open hybrid cloud, right? I mean, you have flavors of all kinds of infrastructure, government infrastructure versus private infrastructure. So what are some trends, what you see there from a practitioner standpoint? Because Minfi works with a lot of public sector entities. So what are 2 or 3 things which you observe?
See, the game is all about licensing, when you see open source and all, right? So, I mean, this debate has been always there, it's nothing to do with the cloud, open source or whether you should use proprietary at all. Proprietary has support, open source doesn't have support, open source has an ecosystem, proprietary also has an ecosystem. There's so many discussions that goes on. Okay, so eventually what wins, any technology that has developed its ecosystem, from a developer perspective or upgrade perspective, that is a technology that wins. End of the day, after so many years, we're still with Java, still with .NET, and Python has evolved good, Golang is coming up good. That kind of technology is coming because you have got the ecosystem. So from an open source perspective, yes, there are certainly cost savings if you do open source. Again, there are open sources which have both open source commercial models. From a support perspective, you eventually reach there at the same place. So this decision has to be again taken from your compliances perspective. Okay, whether you should go with open source or do you need that kind of support? And I have government entities also coming to us saying that, okay, open source is fine. Let's say, should I use Mongo open source or an enterprise? Okay, I know that those by their use case, they don't need any enterprise servers, so database subscription. But by the compliance they need. Okay, by their business continuity plan they need. Okay, so again, cost wise, yes, open source is definitely is going to really help you bring your cost down, like Windows versus Linux on Intel versus Linux on AMD versus Linux on Graviton. There's a huge price difference. Okay, so can you use those technologies to use these infrastructure?